In the ruins of a battered bomb shelter, the scavengers found a stash of hidden tapes. Most were broken, mangled, and melted, but one cassette somehow survived. Under the moonlight, they lit a fire and began dismembering a three-legged, tumor-ridden deer. As flames licked and lashed at the cancerous meat, the elders began decrypting the ancient runes scrawled down the cassette case's spine. Journal entry 173, July 4th, 2024.
July 4th, 2024. The hillbillies burn their money in the sky. They celebrate their poverty and plight with bright exploding colors. Only days after democracy has died, and everyone's already forgot. Our country has fallen, and democracy is dead. As our former president, twice impeached and civil court convicted of rape, Donald J. Trump wrestles against another 90-some criminal convictions, any of which would see the average man behind bars. Our Supreme Court has ruled the president now has the immunity of a king. The Republicans have gambled everything on the lack of Biden's balls in hopes that their cult daddy can now be their king. Once again, they put their trust in the hands of a wannabe dictator, a liar, a thief, and a traitor, who has already attempted both a coup and an insurrection. Many people forget that while his sycophants stormed the Capitol building with makeshift gallows, Trump also sent fake electors in multiple states in an attempt to rob the American people of their voice and vote. This pig man has attempted to steal from all of us, and now may very well be legally armored from any criminal conviction. They have made him bulletproof. Born a rich man free of consequence, his family made their fortunes on the backs of others through real estate. Before politics, this man ran scam schools and sold trash TV stakes. He became famous for his boorish nature and cruelty to others. He famously uses his wealth and status to breed hate, and even gone as far as to take out full-page newspaper ads calling for the execution of criminals. These specific criminals were teenagers, and it was later determined that they were indeed falsely convicted. This is a quote from his article. Quote, "I recently watched a newscast trying to explain the anger in these young men. I no longer want to understand their anger. I want them to understand our anger. I want them to be afraid." And I think that quote perfectly represents the psychology of Donald Trump. To this day, he refuses to apologize. This man brags about assaulting women and touts that he could shoot anyone on Fifth Avenue and not lose a vote. He is a liar, a thief, a con man, and a traitor. He has advocated for shooting protesters, assaulting the press, executing drug dealers, and imprisoning anyone who would dare desecrate the flag. He has incited riots, an insurrection, and attempted a coup. He has even gone so far as to destroy United States Postal Service mail sorting machines in an attempt to disrupt voters' ballots. His legal team lied in countless frivolous court cases all across the country in an attempt to manipulate election results. He's had multiple lawyers convicted of doing various crimes on his behalf, and when his lackeys couldn't get the job done, he personally attempted to pressure and persuade officials to steal votes from the American people. In his final days of his first term as president, he has made sure to pardon all of his crony crooks so that they could evade justice for the crimes they did on his behalf. On multiple occasions, this man has promised to suspend the Constitution, and when his lawyers fought for immunity in front of the Supreme Court, they argue that a president would even be able to dispose of their rivals via SEAL Team 6 assassinations. All the while, he campaigns as a Bible-thumping idiot with family values. But he doesn't know how to hold a Bible, and it seems his wife has left him, following his previous conviction of paying off a porn star with campaign funds. This man has likely had his lies heard by more people across the world more times than any other person in the history of this earth, all while demonizing the reporters and media, urging his listeners to only trust him as the last honest man and the only one who can save them. He is a liar, a thief, and a traitor. In the last election, he refused to concede when he lost. This time, if he takes the presidential throne, he has promised he won't leave. He claims to be the strong man, the political Christ to deliver us from our evil, a self-described, stable genius who will fight like hell for the American people. But past all the deceptions, illusions, and lies, Donald J. Trump is merely a mirror of the millions of American people who voted for him. These people have redefined fascism, authoritarian rule with consent. When I find myself in disbelief of all the insanity, when I am shocked how many of us would happily kneel to a king, I am reminded that half of the country wanted this. They are happy to kiss the ring. Most authoritarians rely on violence, but violence is unnecessary when enough people believe your lies. Half of the country wants what he is selling. We have succumbed too quietly. Initially, his motivations were ego-driven and superficial. He had money, but wanted fame too. But now his truth has become much more sinister. The truth is that this man is motivated, truly motivated, to win and to lead this country however he sees fit. I imagine he wants it more than anyone, because he needs it. Despite all the bravado and all the greasy gold, he is dangerously desperate. Because if he does not win, he knows that there is a real chance that he may be destined to die in prison. But with each day and each of his successes, the chance of him facing any substantial consequences dwindle. So now, as we tinker on the edge of fascism, the next election, merely months away, will determine if we give our future to this disgusting fucking tyrant. Our Supreme Court is ethically bankrupt and financially corrupted via billionaire bribes, and half the people we're stuck living with have become cultist populists who are cheering for the death of democracy. Too stupid to understand what that will mean. I fucking hate this country. Way more than you do, but I'm still willing to fight for it. Unfortunately, without risking our freedom, that means we're constrained to voting. If I'm not being clear enough, I will state it as plainly as fucking possible. There is no real choice to make in this coming election. I would rather vote for a dead dog than Donald Trump, and so should you. We stand at a fork in the road, two separate paths that will radically shape our lives and the lives that follow. We must vote for the Democrats this coming election. Despite any qualms we may have with them, a vote for the Democratic Party is a vote for continuing our democracy. For those still reluctant or on the fence, it is worth reminding that, in the end, voting for a president is at its core a vote for an idea. Even kings can't do their bidding alone. It requires many people to steer a ship as big as America. We vote for a president that represents an idea that downstream includes the inner teams, the cabinet, the vice president, and many other crucial positions, all while setting the tone and direction for thousands of other political leaders and staffers, but most importantly, the American people as a whole. When considering our options, the road on the left versus the road on the right, the left may be incompetent, it's muddy, unclear, and not as brightly lit as it should be. But Trump and the road right is a child shortcut right off a steep cliff. Trump stands at the edge, wrapped in an American flag, urging us to march forward, telling us we actually can fly. He would walk upon a valley of our corpses if it let him get to the other side. He is destructive to every good thing our country has left. He outright threatens the very nature of our freedom, and he must be stopped by any means possible. To those suffering in delusion, the populist fever dream called MAGA, you are the reason America cannot be great, are no longer good, and may cease to even be at all. If you are willing to kneel and suck the toes of a king, you forfeit your claim to country. You do not deserve to have the freedom you refuse to defend. You deserve only your emperor's whip and chains. May you live lost and bound.
The scavengers howled long into the night.
The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
I'm conservative. What happened to our family values? Salute the troops, we wouldn't be here without you. I know it's hard to raise your children these days. When the public school system trying to turn your son gay. They welcome Satan in church, but I can't walk in the Capitol. Even Chick-fil-A went woke, they sold their soul for some capital. Target put a target on your children for them pedophiles. Disney sexualizing children and they do it with a smile. LGBTQ just took over the White House. BLM was scamming, so we crossed them off a whiteout. Trump's facing life with Hunter Biden's got his pipe out.
I feel like we do have to be slightly careful with our words. So like if anything like too much, I'll like edit out or whatever. But if there's anything you don't want to co-sign, let me know.
Heard.
Because like if we're talking about because my honest feeling is like I think he deserves absolutely, but I don't want to be like fully explicit. So I have some creative workarounds, but if we do say anything in it, I'm willing to like.
Now that we're on a recorded file,
someone should.
Yeah, the clock is ticking and God is waiting. I'm finding patience. I know Jesus ain't come for the righteous, but to find his patience. Can't you see that Satan's coming for our youth? I get persecuted when I tell them the truth. But if you ain't gonna stand up, then what's the use? I see new slaves that got out of chains to get in a noose. I'm conservative. I'm conservative. I'm conservative.
Welcome to the Trash Cats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven. And today we're talking about the assassination of Donald J. Trump.
Trump's facing life with Hunter Biden's got his pipe out.
Assassination attempt.
No?
Attempt. He's not. He survived that one.
We'll see.
We'll see. By the time this comes out, who fucking knows?
Who knows? It's been a wild couple weeks. I wrote
Jesus Christ.
I wrote like 3 intros for this episode, and I'm not sure if we're going to use any of them because I really just want a Fed post over and over again, you know?
Oh, what is Fed posts?
You don't know what Fed posts are?
No.
It's when you say something so good on the internet that federal agents come to your house to congratulate you. Like, hey, dude, that was so based what you just said. I just want to come to your door and let you know.
Let me take you back to my house real quick. Why don't you get in the car and come with me?
See, I already found the GPS trackers, and I figured I'd just cut right to the chase. So I've just been going to their house every night.
Yeah,
you know?
Just give it right back.
Interview them. You know what I mean?
I put my own GPS tracker on their car, but my GPS tracker is just a raccoon with a battery duct taped to its back.
Go through the trash. Fuck it. God, it has been a pretty crazy couple weeks. I think we'd be remiss not to mention that since last time we talked, the country's been devolving a little bit. We got presidential immunity. We got bullets shot at the president, and what was the Biden dropped out. It's been craziness.
Yeah, it's like with this. This was supposed to be a review the debate episode.
Yeah,
and we just kept moving it. Like, okay, well, we don't want to do that anymore. There's too much is going on. We have to make it about this. Well, hold on. Let's do this instead.
Things kept changing way too quick. Trump caught HPV.
Did he?
Yeah, and a high velocity pickle. That's what you say on the internet when you don't want to say shoot someone. You say high velocity pickle them. Just pickles flying out really fast.
Oh God, I love the internet. I love the getting around the getting demonetized slang.
Oh yeah, there's been a ton of interesting freedom of speech issues with Twitter right now. All these bots and Elon whitelisting Republican pages. A lot of interesting stuff. But first, how was your week?
It's been pretty wild. The cool part about working so much is I really don't get to follow the events that are happening around you. It's mostly just I'll clock out and like go to my car and I'll look at my phone after like hours and I'll just see like multiple headlines. And it's like
that's not good.
Yeah.
Back to work.
Our boy David Packman, he posts a lot of videos in one day.
He does.
And I'll get him just throughout the day, all this shit. And it's like what the fuck is happening out there?
Dude, I've been want to do an episode on it at some point, but if you watched his I have mixed feelings about Pac-Man, but overall he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's one of the few people that's pretty decent, but he has an interview with Richard Spencer, the not America First. He's the meme of the Nazi that gets punched in the face. He's that guy.
Oh, I don't know that one.
I forget. I'm fucking blanking on the name of the movement, but he was like when Nazis were getting real popular in our lifetime. He was the guy that
were cool again.
started that, but he actually is an incredibly smart guy that most people who interview him or try to get him on a gotcha, he just crushes. And David Packman rarely does interviews that are... He doesn't do a lot of confrontation, but when he does, he spends a ton of time preparing. And up until the interview he does with Richard Spencer, like no one had like stopped Richard Spencer. And Packman's interview of him, it's like a 2-hour vivisection of a Nazi. It is ruthless and just like peak understanding of how you deconstruct arguments. It's really impressive.
Yeah, he's definitely a smart dude.
Yeah. Oh man. So got sidetracked.
Where do we even start here?
I think where we start is first reaction to the assassination attempt.
Where were you when?
Yeah, when Trump lost his shoes to a high velocity pickle.
I did lose his shoes.
Everyone's like, "Oh, he stood up so it's this picturesque moment, and he's
in his socks."
Yeah, he's raising his fist and saying fight. Except if you watch the whole fucking video, for like a minute, he's on the ground, and then he gets up, it takes 15 seconds, he's, "Where are my shoes? Where are my shoes?"
Yeah, he does.
He's covered in blood, frowning. He looked like a little... He looked terrible.
Jesus Christ.
It wasn't like at the strong moment the media made it out to be after.
It was pretty fucking bad.
It looked terrible. But I mean, the internet says this is like a champion moment for him. This is the moment Republicans won the election.
Yeah. I'd gotten home from work and I was watching some other YouTube video, probably something funny to try to like come down off of the, the heat of the day. And
because I joked that you're basically what Jesse from Breaking Bad if he was addicted to popsicles instead of meth. That's what your life is right now.
Yeah, that's basically all it is just making popsicles for hours and hours and hours, going home, eating a sad meal in my living room, and then going to bed and
back
doing
to
it
the
again.
lab. Yeah.
Every day I'm like, I got to come in earlier tomorrow. And then I think maybe I'll leave a little early today because I came in so early this morning. And it's like one more thing.
Just sleep there. Just bring a cot in.
Dude, I've super considered it. We have a bathroom. We wouldn't have a shower, and that would be
who needs shower?
I could get away with that for a day. So I was home, I was watching something else, and I remember I backed out to like my homepage on my YouTube on my TV, and I saw the headline was something like, shooting at, Trump rally. And
it was like the worst initial headline.
Yeah. It was like, oh, I wonder if someone like fired into the crowd or if like somebody got shot in the parking lot, like, whatever. Someone like altercations happen. That's what I figured happened.
Yeah.
And as I'm watching the video, they're like, Trump was shot. And it was like, oh my God, this is very different. It was
close. For it to catch his ear as he's turning, like he was turning to look at this chart about immigration that has all the numbers cooked, all kinds of sideways, and it either nicks his ear or glass from the reader thing.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Yeah. I think that's still unknown, but I mean, that's within an inch or two.
Isn't there like a picture of the bullet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's the bullet that got his ear.
Oh.
There's definitely like some still frames with the bullet. And it's crazy because the only reason supposedly Secret Service wasn't on that roof is because it was too slopey.
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
That roof's too slopey.
Yeah, there's nobody going to climb up there.
We got some rogue kid supposedly voted Republican. Doesn't matter. I don't know why that's such a thing. Like the shooter's pass. Like who the fuck cares? But there was Secret Service or cops in the building, and he's fucking. I mean, everyone's making fun of the shot, but it was 150 meters, high wind, and he was using iron sights. Like that's a fucking decent shot.
Yeah, it was really good.
I mean, it's not far for like a sniper or like scoped in shit, but for just like a
20-year-old kid. Yeah.
Yeah. It's impressive.
Of course, the first thing I did was call you.
Yeah.
Because that was...
my first reaction, I felt the spirit of the eagle in my wings. Right? I felt the first time I felt pride for our country in a long time. I felt so proud. It was a beautiful moment. A little scary though.
Yeah, it's that was the main thing. Is like, oh wow, somebody actually tried to do it. First of all, surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah,
surprised it's taken this long. First of all, second of all, the immediate thoughts afterward were like, what does this mean? Like for aftermath. Like, is this like, where someone's like, this is where this, we can now look back at history and say like, okay, this is what sparked, World War One is, when Franz Ferdinand was shot or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's like the turning, the catalyst. And it's like, what is this the catalyst of?
That's the thing though, is at first, I think I gave more credit to that kind of questioning or thinking, but I think realistically, I think things could have been better if it was successful because most people are cowards. Like, who are you going to go out and start a civil war with?
Right.
When a president gets shot. Like, there's a chance shit sparks off, but also, like, people just move on, too. Like, I feel like if he could have died, I really don't. I think we all would have moved on, and it might have been for the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say, though.
Yeah.
But
would have had some people doing some crazy shit.
yeah. All right. Here's my... We're walking a thin line today. Fucking Johnny Cash in it. Because talking about presidents on the internet is always a little risky. Here's the question. If... I think the presidential immunity is like the worst.
Right.
It changes my opinion of things so much between that and the coup, insurrection, refusing to step down. I truly feel he is a threat to democracy, and even more than that, the Republicans that support him are actually unhinged. Like that half of our country supports this man is the real problem. So, let's assume things were, hypothetical world, so bad that we had presidents are gone, right? We've moved on to the elevated king status.
Mm-hmm.
Or we have a candidate that's such an existential threat that an argument to kill them could be made. I think the question is like, when is it a good thing that someone follows through with it? Because I have a hard time not just Fed posting and saying, fuck this dude, and fuck this shit, and fuck these people, like this firefighter dude, fuck him, no sympathy, fuck you.
He paid for front row seats at that rally.
Dude, fuck these people. Like, anyone in the crowd, fuck them. They deserve it too.
I've I love that this is on recording. Not really, but I think that... So I've definitely thought of this before. Not just like for Trump era shit, but like I've considered in the past, like, so what happens if you know, this were to happen? So the problem is always, if it's not him, like someone's going to be taking his spot, but who? Like I've thought about it with like, you know, I was talking to someone about like the Russia thing, and it was like, you know, how difficult would it actually be if, you know, there was a point where they were talking about like there are tons of soldiers in Russia that are like not even feeling the Ukraine thing. They're like not, they're not on board with this, but they're doing what they, you know, have to do to not, you know, be killed themselves. So
they're still as guilty though.
Yeah. Agreed. At what point, like if we were to, you know, fucking SEAL Team 6 drops in the Kremlin and evades all the censors or whatever, and, you know, like puts one through Putin's head. And then what? Like, who's there to pick up the pieces of that?
Here's the question. They're like the people in the audiences that go to these rallies that vote for the authoritarian are equally guilty and deserving of blame, right?
Right.
But I do truly believe like some people do change the course of history. Like Trump being snapped out of the world today, there's not a guarantee someone can fill his shoes in the way he did. There's not a guarantee someone else could have got presidential immunity that could be leading in the way that he does. Mm-hmm. Like the Republicans are equally as fucked. His followers are equally as fucked. But it doesn't necessarily mean someone would have fulfilled the same destiny he did. Like I don't accept that as a given. Where
it's like who do they have to put up as their, you know, their poster boy at this point if something did happen to him? Fucking JD Vance? Fucking
yeah, he is just as bad and less
he's fucked in a way that's
divisive
like
way.
he talked so much shit on him.
He's a coward.
He's such a fucking hypocrite coward motherfucker. What an asshole.
Like,
I don't think anyone's happy with him either. Like no one, you know, no one's gonna hold, you know, someone else to the holier than thou, you know, podium that they put Trump on. So, yeah, I don't know. It's at what point does it become okay, or at what point does it become necessary? Is that the question?
Yeah, like when does violence become a duty under tyrannical rule?
Mm-hmm.
Like we could separate it farther. Like we're in the dark ages with a king that actually is fucking churning people or whatever. Like where your family and all the people you love are gonna die unless someone beheads the king, right?
Yeah.
Like there is a point where the ethics math changes.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely, this is where you have to get into the argument of what does life threatening mean? Does it mean that I'm in danger of losing my life, or I'm in danger of losing, you know, a
Liberty.
reasonable quality of life?
Yeah. I feel very strongly about that.
It's, you know, there's, I mean, there's arguments to be made that like, it's not like, oh, I went from having a bunch of money to now I'm broke and I lost quality of life. Like that's not, it sucks, but like that's not the same thing if you're still able to like provide for yourself and whatnot. It's different if you're losing liberties, you're losing, in a way that you can't come up from, because no matter what you want to do, you can't fight against it. At least, you know, from what's been taught of how the American democracy system works, is at least you get to vote for, you know, some kind of change, whether it's local or state or federal. You get to, you know, be a part of that. Whether it turns out in your favor or not is different, but you can raise it up again. And as a point, if you don't get your way, you can continue to fight that fight. But if you can't, if you lose the ability to do that because one person has taken that away from you, or a system of peoples has taken that away from you, then
that's sad.
Yeah.
That actually brings me to the next point I wanted to get to, was the idea of democratic tyranny. Like what happens right now, the country's very divided, right? Mm-hmm. It's like 50% Democrats, liberals, progressives, and then the other 50 are Republican fucking idiots and mega sycophants, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very split. But let's say the math changes where it's 55% Trump's people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what if these, instead of Trump having to attempt the coup, to send the fake electors, to storm the Capitol, let's just say he actually could have just got the job done through voting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens when enough people want a king? What happens when people use their democracy, their democratic values, to convert to authoritarianism? Because we're not quite there yet. The guardrails held, the institutions, the systems rebuked Trump just enough, but really it still was within a handful of people's control.
Yeah.
And if I still think generally there's more people on the left than the right, but especially all the nuances of our voting system and how the elections are decided, it's not out of the question that there's enough Republican support to take us farther away from democracy and closer to tyrannical rule.
Yeah.
Under the name of populism. Like, it's, people forget, like, Hitler didn't just, like, start by killing millions of people, right?
Right.
The idea that we glorify, that half our country is glorifying the strong man who breaks our system, who ignores the votes of the people, who breaks law. Like, it's like so disgusting. Yeah. Especially from the party that was supposed to be law and order.
Yeah, that is the other wild part. It's so hypocritical in nature by like every movement they make is just another example.
Jellyfish.
It's like how are y'all not
spineless
seeing that? How is that? It's like and that's where it makes you think, like, this is actually what you want? This is another thing we were,
they just hate gay people.
Yeah, so fucking much. The we were talking about the people kidnapping satanic values and stuff, and like trying to make it like, oh, but this is what I do as a real Christian man, or
Bible hooking things to mean things they don't.
Yeah, exactly. So like I think it's similar in that, where like they call it patriotism and they call it being a real American, but it's like the most American thing is like taking when you see someone that's trying to turn it into an autocracy, or trying to turn it into like something where they have control that you can't, that they're taking control away from you, you fight against that.
Absolutely.
But so much of the brain, like literally the arguments the points they try to talk about the, Democratic Party or the left, it's the left. It's not even the Democratic Party. It's just the left. It's the same things that they're currently and actively doing. It's very telling.
I also feel very let down by the left. Like, I feel like, Biden's presidency kind of coinciding with the time we've been doing this podcast, I feel like we probably have sounded like very, like staunch Democrats or whatever. I don't fucking like Democrats much either, but there's just, there is no choice.
Right, exactly.
And I feel let down by the left, like the left vaguely, in the sense of like, being so weak, like so willing to be demonized, so willing not to get vicious, so willing to be the people apologizing to the people that die in a rally stoked by the tyrant. Like, why the fuck aren't, when the Proud Boys and all these fucking losers are getting their torches out, like, why the fuck on the left do we not have people loading up their plates too? Like, why the fuck? It's so like, oh, everything has to be, we must condemn all violence. We must rise above. They go low, we go high type shit. And it's just, that's not the world today.
I get the argument of, lead by example or show by example, in the way of like, you don't need to act this way to hold, to hold people's attention, to be in people's favor. Like, you don't have to lead by fear. And I think that's, I feel like that's at the core of like why you don't see that much on the left. Part of it's that. Too much. Yeah, exactly.
We've allowed people with undefendable positions, right, to set the narratives, and we've tolerated so much disgusting behavior that it's hard to like dig in this late into the game. Like how Trump came to power, right? Like, grab him by the pussy, and his rallies where he tells his audience he'll pay the legal bills that they would get if they assault the press, right?
Yeah.
This is how this man got elected. He's fucking lying about Obama's birth certificate. Like, this is like, even one of those things from someone on the left would have been not tolerated, right? Like,
right.
It's such a like non-starter of like, how the fuck did our democracy tolerate such abuses that it could get to this point either? It's laughable. There's like such cowardice on both sides that's very frustrating. That said, how do you feel about like where we're at now? Like, how do you feel about Kamala and the coming election?
I feel like, so like anyone who was already planning on voting for Biden was basically already voting for Kamala anyways, right? Like that was a given. Even going into 2020 when it was like, this guy's old as shit, and what if he dies? And what, that was the what people were talking about back then. So
I think it's the same for Trump too. Like even the attempt on his life, I don't think changes his polls much at all.
Right. So I think the idea of, I feel like there is a part of me that thinks it feels a little bit better in my head to vote for Kamala than it does for Biden, because at least, I mean, something I had said from the start is like, at least someone who's a little bit younger. Like
she can out-debate
something.
Trump. She can out-debate Trump for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
She's quicker. She's smarter. I don't think I like her.
I don't know enough about her to make the opinion yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's shitty to just like, and either way, she would have my unmitigated support, right? Like, I'd absolutely
vote for a bag of dead squirrels over Trump.
Yeah, and I think I think she'll probably be like solid and do a decent job. She's just not like what I prefer, but I guess that's okay. Fuck it. I really hope I hope she really champions abortion and other women's issues, because I think there's so much support that hasn't been like fully exploited to its best potential on the left, like in the sense that the country's really about 50-50, and it's going to be who can get the most people to show up, who can energize and get people out. And I think that those issues specifically are really what can make the difference. And I really wish she would drop the gun control shit.
Yeah.
A, because I think it's bullshit and don't like it. But B, I also think it is like a losing point for this election. Like you're losing people in the middle, and you're also simultaneously building the wrath of building motivation on the right too. Like it just doesn't seem like that's where you win this election. Like I hate hearing her talk about all the weapon ban shit. Like every Democratic candidate for the last whatever in our lifetime has said they'll ban assault rifles and ARs, and it's just like stupid as fuck to begin with. Like I can't have a piece of metal that does things. Like shut the fuck up. Like just give like secure our fucking like bodily rights and autonomy, and then maybe we can look at that down the line. Like let's just like get the shit that really matters the most.
Get us the shit that we lost first. Get that back in order.
Yeah, let's
bring us back up to speed to where we should be.
Let's fucking fix Supreme Court. Let's get abortion shit together. Let's figure out future guardrails to democracy. And then, if you really want to debate about fucking automatic conversion kits or whatever, we can talk about it, I guess. But
speaking of Supreme Court shit, I've finally started hearing people talk about the lifetime appointment shit.
Yeah, it just needs to be.
It's the craziest fucking bullshit.
Yeah, the lottery system. It's so fucking stupid. It's laughable to be like, oh, just whatever, however many of these old fucks die during your term, you get to choose. Like it's so stupid. Like I forget her. I think it's her name, but we have another she has a full-time medic. Do you know this?
Oh yeah.
She could drop any day, and it hasn't stepped down yet. And if she goes, we'll have a 7-2 court. It's laughable how poorly strategic the left has been about the Supreme Court. Like, these court decisions have altered everything.
Yeah.
They matter so fucking much. And it'd be so easy to fix if there was a
term limit.
Yeah, well, I think the way to do it is each president gets 2 picks and they rotate out.
That tracks.
Yeah. There's people that wrote different theories, something to that effect, where they have however many years it is, or whatever the number is, that they rotate. Each president gets their picks, and it keeps it very nonpartisan. Like, there's no reason there should be. There's supposed to be, like, there's all this drama with both the bribes and there's the recordings of the Republican dude that's like saying MAGA must win by any cost. He's flying the Trump flag. Like,
yeah.
How is this acceptable? How are there no ethics?
Right.
Like enforceable ethics
there needs
rules.
to be absolutely that's absolutely uncalled for and shouldn't be allowed.
It's so unacceptable. And it's like, how are these things that,
like, you can't stop people from having biases, sure.
Right.
But you can absolutely request that as a public servant who is supposed to be the arbiter of justice, the person that's, like, able to weigh everything equally. If you're supposed to be that figure that you hold in our society, you can't be out, like, that can't be a thing that you can do.
They shouldn't even be allowed to be religious. Like, it's so stupid that they can declare a private religion while trying to be nonpartisan. Like, get the fuck out of here. Christian nation. So fucking stupid.
Fucking lifetime public servant is crazy. Lifetime term for a public servant is crazy.
Fucking millions in bribes. Oh, can't hold them accountable at all.
So fucked up.
What do you think? I know we touched on it. I think in part I just enjoy it, but also it is like a huge thing on social media right now, with the right demanding sympathy. Like, there was the thing of, like, God controlled the bullet to save Trump, and everyone forgot it killed some firefighter dad. Like, the funniest shit ever. Like, damn, your God's fucked up, dude.
Your
what
God
the
sucks.
But do you feel like any condolences even should be offered? Because I truly feel like everyone there is equally as responsible.
Right.
And this dude happened to be a piece of shit. But
yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't change anything in my life. The
one
thing,
less voter in a swing state, right?
Yeah. There's the one thing that did kind of stick out to me. I forget who it was I was listening to, but they said something along the lines of, like, all of the Republicans that are out here talking about, like,
just crying.
trying to hold people accountable for, like, make sure you condemn the weak. You have to condemn this. This is such a terrible thing that happened. This and that. But they're also the people that were, like, laughing about,
Nancy Pelosi.
the Nancy Pelosi's husband and Gretchen Whitmer, the kidnapping attempt thing. Like, all that shit. Like, they love that shit. They were laughing about it. They're joking about it, like, constantly.
Absolutely.
And then for them to turn around and be like, oh no, we have to, like, this is terrible, and you have to admit this is terrible, and you have to say it's terrible, you're terrible. And it's like, whoa. Like, it's so clearly two-faced. It's not even like an attempt to hide it in any way.
There was a recent debate with Ben Shapiro, and Destiny got him to admit like that Trump and Republicans are graded on a curve, right? There are completely different standards. No one would have accepted half of Trump's behavior from any other candidate. Like that, what we condemn the left for and what we condemn the right for, completely separate. Remember that, what was it, the Sub-Zero shooting? The gay club thing?
Oh, which one?
Yeah, exactly. But the whole thing, yeah. Afterwards, everyone's like, the groomers deserve to die. And it's like, that's the energy of the right online. And it's just so fucking... makes me feel aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You're hulking out over there.
Going crazy, dude. I've ripped all the veins out of my arms and replaced them with Ethernet cable. I've become fully online. I haven't touched grass in months.
You're AI generating your own grass in your backyard.
I've lived my whole life on the internet, never going outside again.
Honestly, that doesn't sound bad sometimes. It sounds pretty okay nowadays.
It's pretty based. All right, what else do we got? Tactics going forward, and then there is one thing no one's talking about. But maybe what do you think going forward?
For do you mean for the left?
Yeah, I guess just
tactics for us.
The sake of freedom.
Like, I'm just gonna show up and vote. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, really, that's. I feel like what kind of helped a lot in 2020. I feel like I saw a lot more people that were just like, "Hey, like, make sure you're registered." Like all year long, or like, "Hey, make sure you're registered to vote." Like now, like do it now. Like go. I mean, even if you don't believe it's a thing, humor me. Do something. Even if all your friends say they're going to go do it, like, hey, go also do it. Like maybe it makes a little bit of a difference. Who knows?
This is so frustrating to say out loud. I still feel like less than 10% of the people I know will vote, and another 10%, even if they agree with like every policy position we do, still vote for Trump.
That's so crazy.
It's just like it really feels like it feels like a losing battle. I don't think it is, but it feels that way. And I don't really like voting. Like I don't like how our democracy is set up. I've had qualms with this for a long time. The stakes just, it doesn't feel like an option to like be choosy about things. Like I don't even like the choose the lesser evil. It's not like one side can suck, but when the other side wants to take shit from you, it's not fair to call them evil and less evil. It's like there is a clear villain. There's a clear problem.
Yeah.
That you can't expect the other side to be what you want until
you have to
out.
You have to at least like stop this. It's like do you want a cold bologna sandwich, or do you want someone to come in and shoot you in the back of the head? It's like the cold bologna sandwich kind of sounds like it's not going to be good, but
did you listen to Kama's first speech thing?
No, I haven't watched much of shit.
I think maybe I would like her positions more. I just don't like how she speaks, but her rhetoric was really good. She big improvements, and I think the line of attack is like a "we are the future" kind of deal. You want America great again. You want to go back to the past. We're only going forward, and I think that is a good tactic movie or that's aim.
And I think it's I hate that it's touted on so much, but it is significant that, like, as, as a female and as a person of color, like, that does make a difference in a lot of, that does amp up people to go vote.
It definitely amps up people. Have you seen on mainstream news, have you seen the resurgence of sexism?
God.
There's people making really interesting arguments because honestly, Biden was like, even if you didn't like him, he wasn't an easy guy to hate, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, he's kind of like a dumb old man.
He likes
well-meaning.
He
right?
likes ice cream, just like us.
He had his gaffes, right? He had trouble speaking. Like, he wasn't like easily hateable. And with Kamala, we're seeing, I forget if it was Fox News or somewhere else, but someone on live air called her a bitch. And there's like a huge internet thing of like, she's fucking her way to the top. She's a, slur, cunt,
I have had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that before.
And what is actually really nice about that is it brings out the worst of, the opposite side, where that might really end up being to her benefit. There was like a big fear initially of like, can she get over, these identity politics, like hurdles that historically have kept people from voting for like a black woman, or it may be turning out that this is actually revealing a lot of like Republican bias or hatred that may really be in her benefit. I think that's pretty interesting because the deep internet shit, the like scary places online is it's like it's putrid. Like what's been said since she's been came out. It's really like there's a lot of people, especially after the Trump thing, that are seeking violence her way right now.
It's pretty wild.
And it's going to be a very, very dramatic election. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We should stay up all night and record it.
You know what? I'm not against it.
It could be fun.
We can do our first live stream.
Ugh.
It's just us alone on Twitch.
Watching an election.
Watching someone else's live stream.
That's all we would do. I keep dabbling with stream idea. I'm like, I don't feel like I can. It just feels so I mean, I watch stream shit all day, but doing it myself just feels like it's so lame.
Mm-hmm.
Being a podcaster is tough enough.
Yeah, this shit. Hey, listen,
shit.
This is a tough gig.
It's a tough gig.
Most of y'all couldn't hack it.
Hardest job in the world.
I was real sleepy earlier, and I showed up to my computer room, and I put away my comfy chair because Steven doesn't like how it squeaks.
It's too loud.
It's too loud, so I got this metal uncomfortable chair for your listening pleasure. You should feel grateful. And I could be sleeping right now.
It's so funny the metal chair works because I knew it would, and it's like I know it's one of those things no one would ever buy the uncomfortable. It's just like a plain folding metal chair that
you know what I never told you. I actually got like 3 of these downstairs.
I believe it, and I thought to myself, if I forcibly buy Ricky this chair, I know he'll have to use it.
Yeah, exactly what happened. I was like, all right, well this one's just for podcasting.
That's my podcast chair.
Yep. Actually, I think I said that one time when someone came over and they were like, I was like, showing off the recording room, and they were like, oh, they saw the 2 comfy chairs I have in here, and then they saw that one, and they're like, oh, what's that for? And I was like, well, it's for podcasting. And when I also use it when I organize my fridge. I take it in there so I can have a nice comfy seat.
All right, now you want to get to the real fun topics?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I guess so.
Here's the part no one's talking about. The best thing that happened the day of that assassination attempt?
Mm-hmm.
One less firefighter. Bro. What a gift to the world. I don't think people understand how evil every single firefighter, and that they should be exterminated from our planet, and that it was an act of grace to have one less firefighter on this earth. It's not being talked about enough.
Now, when we did
murderers, pedophiles, firefighters.
When we did our list of people we hate, was firefighters included in your list?
I've totally blanked. I forgot about them.
You gotta go update that list.
Wait, must. They're just bad people, and I think that should be brought to everyone's attention more.
Now, speak more on that.
They don't like giving Narcan to you when you overdose. They're very rude.
Wait. They don't like doing it, or they won't do it?
Little bit of A, little bit of B. They're always very begrudging, and then they make
They're
fun
saving
of you.
it for themselves. The elite firefighters are saving all the Narcan for themselves.
I don't know. Every firefighter I've ever met has been an asshole. They're just like always.
They all have the same mustache.
Yeah, they just like they work like not that much and don't like doing their job.
Actually,
and they're all Christian firefighter. Like they fetishize fire axes and going to fires.
Oh, this is actually interesting. I'm sorry. I missed the last thing you said because I realized a couple years ago I lived in this place that had multiple electrical fires break out within this apartment complex.
Yeah.
We were there all through COVID, and we got out as quick as we could.
Because you kept setting all those electrical fires.
Yeah.
And the firefighters were starting to catch up.
Like every couple months there'd be like, I'd, open the door and there'd be like just a ton of, fire trucks and shit like outside. And the one time they came like banging on that, like the door, and were like, you need to evacuate because it's like 2 doors down. And that sucked. But while I was sitting out in my car, I realized that like all of these firefighters have the same mustache. Like, why is this a thing? They all have the same mustache. Apparently, and I didn't look this up until just now. Apparently, it was considered to be early filtration system before they had like
out of here.
Masks and shit.
That's
so
funny,
the idea is that when you become a firefighter, you have to earn your mustache.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I could see that being
a point
just a
of
culture
pride.
thing. Yeah. They were too afraid to fight terrorists, so they thought they'd fight fires. Oh, the fire might get you. Fucking the smoke, I'm choking.
Anything you can beat with water is pretty weak anyways.
Yeah. End all firefighters.
End all firefighters?
End all fire. Next topic.
Assassinate all.
So I went to the zoo the other day. I know you've had a lot of zoo time lately. I had not been to the gorilla exhibit in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been pretty open about my position. I do think zoos are little animal prisons.
Mm-hmm, of course.
They do a lot of good things, but
Some of them.
is not good. I think zoos are bad. I just also happen to like going and don't give a fuck about mortals, right?
Yeah. Fair.
I went to the gorilla exhibit, had not gone in a while. This gorilla was so fucking big, huge, and it's right next to the glass, right? And it's sitting on a log, but it's facing away from the crowd. And at first glance, I'm like, that is a person. Like, that is a person. Like, the muscles on its back through its fur, that is a fat, furry dude, right? Mm-hmm. This gorilla gets up, and it goes to its cage, like the entry to the exhibit, where it's, like, locked, and it's just pulling on the door, trying to go inside. And I'm looking around, everyone's like, oh, look at that, like, so hyped that it's moving. And it literally was the saddest thing I've seen in forever. It was a sad gorilla trying to go inside. And in my head, everyone else is loving it. And I'm there's no way that thing, there's no reason that thing should be there.
Right.
There's no way. Like, what are we doing? Set that fucker free. How the fuck are we? How
Let
do
him
you put
loose
that
in the streets of Clifton.
dude? How do you put that in a cage? It's like,
it's insane.
yeah, zoos are bad. I'm still gonna keep going, but how could you cage a gorilla? They're so close to us. They're just, it's just a dumb person. That's way more physically capable. Like, you have to value a full-grown gorilla way more than you do a 7-year-old.
I mean, at least.
Comparable intelligence, superior physicality. You have to value the gorilla more.
They're not going to vote for Trump. It's free-based.
It's better than any firefighter I've ever met.
And we know of at least one firefighter who would vote for Trump.
Look, and they have all that built-in filtration. Like, if we could train them, they would be the best firefighters.
Oh man, they just knock down a door and drag your ass out of there.
That'd be pretty dope. That'd be a nice exchange for their freedom. Like, we'll set you free, but you have to fight our fires.
We ended all the firefighters, and we realized that might have been a mistake. That might have been not thought through completely on our part. But here's an axe and a hat.
They're up to the task. I believe in them.
Do you know which of the gorillas it was?
I have no idea.
Do you know if it was Chip or Congo?
Do you know the names of our gorillas? Pende? Do you really know the names of our gorillas?
Of course I do.
Why? Why do you know?
Why wouldn't I know?
Why would you?
Listen, Steven,
how did that information get in your head? Are you on the Cincinnati Zoo's like Instagram updates? How do you know names of gorillas?
The Cincinnati Zoo's Instagram page. So as you know, I work at I currently work at a zoo. We did just get some new gorillas in over here, and that was like a big thing because the gorillas that they had before were like getting older and they required special care.
Have you seen them recently?
They just opened their exhibit back up and I haven't been back yet to see them.
Well, how about you stop by with a popsicle and see how you feel about it? I will.
Life? They're like right across the way from our stand there. We have one spot by our main spot's by the gorillas, the other one's by the red pandas, and then the other one's by the zebras.
Red pandas are dope. There's no way you can go to that exhibit and feel good about yourself.
Oh, agreed. They have the biggest area of any of the animals. At least at the Detroit Zoo, they do. I don't remember what the Cincinnati one's like. No, actually, I do remember exactly what the Cincinnati one's like because I have a couple wild stories about that. And that's the one where Harambe
killed a child.
Yeah, no.
Ate a child?
No, he didn't even do anything to the child. The child fell in, and he went down towards it, and they
shot him.
Yeah, they killed him.
Yeah,
they killed Harambe. R.I.P. my boy.
I don't like Harambe memes just because his name's stupid. Like, if they just would have picked a better name.
Harambe's a great name.
Harambe?
Yeah.
No.
It's African. He's a gorilla.
That is an unaesthetic combination of letters.
I like Harambe more than Congo with a K. That's like...
Oh, sounds like a cool guy.
It sounds so... like expected. It's like naming your dog Rex or something.
All right. Do you want to have this fight now? Because you name your animals regular people names, and I don't like that.
Okay, well,
it's a meme that hipsters do.
Well, it came to me naturally, and
you're like a person to me, but less than a person.
It's not. It didn't. I didn't get any. What's it called? Outside influence. So
should have consulted.
Except, actually, I will say the closest I had to outside influence was my mom named her cat Jeff. I named my first cat Pebble.
I forgot. You do have one good cat name.
Yeah. So, but the reason I named her Pebble was that when she's old, I can call her Shitrock.
Why?
You know, from Trailer Park Boys. Here, Shitrock.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, my mom named her cat Jeff. Because when she went to look at him as a kitten, we got him from a friend of ours who had, kittens. And she went to go look at him and she was like, he looks like a Jeff. I don't know why, but he looks like a Jeff. I was like, all right, that's great. That's perfect. He's Jeff.
I think they deserve a real name.
And, he's a nice gentleman. He's the best Jeff I know.
They're excellent cats. I don't know why.
You don't like Jeremy?
I hate it, dude.
Jeremy, you love Jeremy, though.
I love the cat.
He's great. What a good ass cat.
There's something about anamorphizing animals with a human name that feels off-putting to me. It's not like it's bad, but it's like it's off-putting. Like, why would they have that name?
I mean,
they're not people.
I think the main problem here, Stephen, it's a you problem.
I don't think so.
I think it is. I think this is something that you have to deal with yourself.
I've thought a lot about this.
And you're trying to take my liberties away.
I would never.
From naming a cat whatever I want to call this cat.
I would never.
I put the food in his belly.
But they're not people.
He doesn't need to be people.
But why would we want to address them as such?
Because it's way cuter that way.
I think it's way cuter.
What would you name Jeremy? I'm going to send you a picture right now, and you're going to look at this face, and you're going to tell me what his name should have been.
It needs to be majestic or dirty, because he was dirty when you found him.
I mean, to be fair, I usually call him Jeremy.
Yes, that helps.
That helps.
That helps. Well, I feel like that's
a good valid point.
All right, what else you got? You got any things, or you're just I didn't even talk about my week. I got nothing. You're too busy. Podcast's doing okay though.
That is pretty wild to hear that it's. I mean, I've been listening to it. I don't know if anyone else does. But
I don't know what's happening.
Is it bots? Who knows?
I think it's 40% bots.
Look at your phone right now. Oh, somebody left his sounds on. Look at that boy and tell me he's not a Jeremy.
I would never look at this cat and Jeremy.
Captain fucking Jeremy. He looks like an old sea captain.
He looks like milk. Like there should be.
Oh, you want me to call him milk? Fucking stank ass dairy milk?
There should be an allusion to the purity of the milk. Okay. Bro, my cat names are epic. Okay, we got Bella, Brutus, Grisha.
Brutus is pretty good. Grisha's great. I do like Grisha.
Bella and Brutus were I don't know if they're twins, but they're from the same litter. It was a boy and a girl. And then Grisha is Russian for I think it was a traditional tiger's name from the Tsars, and it meant protector.
Nice.
It's my little warrior cat. But I feel it. I see milk, and I do see the old sailor soul. I feel like Jeremy works, but I feel like animals deserve like epic names because they. Have you ever read The Golden Compass?
No.
It's like my favorite child's book series. Like Lord of the Rings, lame. Okay, Aragorn. You should check out Lyra. Okay, from His Dark Materials. The whole book is like it's good for like a kid's teen book or whatever. But they're the whole thing is like, as kids, you have your demon, daemon, whatever, and it represents your soul, and it can change shapes till you reach the age of maturity, which is in their world. It's the church is the bad guys, right?
Just in the book, though.
Not in real life, and it is all kind of based off Catholicism, where like in Catholicism, when you reach the age of well, I've said it so many times on this podcast, but when you lose your innocence and you hit the age where you're adult enough to officially sin, right? Like you're responsible for your actions. Your demon, instead of being able to shapeshift, takes its final form, and that's like half of your soul is this animal that reflects you. I don't know. I was like that, but the church is trying to sever them from the children because they can use it to open portals. But they're fun books. But I feel like animals deserve like a. I don't know. I don't like people names. Maybe that's the thing.
Allow me to rattle off some of the other names we have for cats up here.
Sure.
So we currently have a stray in our basement that we've been taking care of for a while. He's the old boy that we got not too long ago. Wendell.
Why?
Mom's cats are. So there's Jeff, right?
That's wild.
We have Asher. We call him Ash, but like that was the name that the foster family gave him. He was the real trash cat. He was actually found in a dumpster with his brethren. Mm-hmm. Then Wendell's kids. So we took in this female cat and she gave kittens and we kept some of the kittens. Luigi, Susie, and Simon.
I'm struggling.
Yeah, and then we have the outdoor cats. Well, one of them's Mitzi.
It's like the staff to an Italian restaurant.
Well, first of all, Bella is a people name. It can be used as a people name.
I like Bella.
In the same way that
Beauty.
Mitzi is like, it can be a people name, but like it's rare.
It's just a bad person's name.
It's a bad person's name. Then what's the other one we have out there?
Zoos do get a little too wacky with names, though. But maybe it's because they've named so many animals, they just don't care.
They don't give a fuck anymore.
It's all like for publicity, right? Like it's all what looks good on our social media, I guess. But I'm shocked. Gorilla names in other cities.
Oh, I looked that shit up online, dog.
Oh, fair. What's this guy up to? He's posing for photos?
He's in front of a painting I have at the house.
Bro, the kangaroo walk is wild.
Kangaroo walk?
There's a newer exhibit where it's just like a walking path.
Oh yeah, where you just walk through the fucking kangaroos. Yeah, it's
50 kangaroos lounging.
Fucking terrifying.
Yeah, dude, they could run riot so
right
easy.
There.
I don't understand how one kid hasn't like tugged its tail and there just wasn't a massacre. Like these things are fucking like they stand in ponds and lakes and shit and get dogs to come in and drown them to death. Like kangaroos are fucking warriors. They're fucking
they're
jacked.
brutal.
But at the zoo, they just lay around on their tail. It's adorable, but yeah, I feel on edge. I don't like I like it, but
yeah, I did
scary.
that the last time I went, which was years ago at this point. But I went with I was there with and they. I should say that it should leave their names out of this, I guess.
Yeah.
I was there with my niece and nephew. And
firefighter might hear that.
Yeah, exactly. I went there with my niece and nephew, and they were terrified of going in. Like, we started to, and then, like, they were, like, done. So we, like, kind of navigated through it, and they were, like, clutching onto me and shit. And I'm like, it's fine. And meanwhile, I'm like, anything could happen in here. I've seen too many videos online of what kangaroos are capable of to feel completely comfortable
problem. Here. It's crazy there's not problems every afternoon.
Yeah, that's really wild to me.
Do you think you could fight a kango?
Could I fight one? Sure. Would I win?
Fair.
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, it depends on how old, I think. Like a full grown.
He would have to
shot.
Intentionally really clock me good for me to even want to hit him back.
Yeah, I feel that
I wouldn't want to hurt the kangaroo.
What if they stole your cigarettes? They spark one up.
Then they'll find his body in the alligator pit.
Blow a puff on your face.
He lights up a smoke and blows it in my face. And then I realize it's actually a camel and it's Joe Camel the whole time.
Bro, I miss Joe Camel. He was a good character.
Yeah, we liked him as a kid. That was part of the problem.
All right. Well, this is fun. Don't kill presidents, guys, okay? Because it's not worth losing your freedom.
It's not worth losing your freedom or your head.
Aside from that, I don't see an ethical qualm.
Other than that, it's pretty based, guys. Go for it. Have fun. Pursue your liberties. Listen.
Tree of Liberty.
Listen.
Watered with the blood.
If you're not shooting your political opponents, are you even really American? What did the forefathers die for?
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really going to have to think about editing.
Good luck. Yeah, you're going to have fun with that one.
Ooh. High velocity pickling. That's for sure.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at TrashCatsTrashcast on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
The memes. If you're super bored, you can check out my trashy art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZACX. Nothing new, because I'm figuring things out. And big episodes coming up.
You say that every week.
I know. I'm bad at building the hype because
you don't have to build hype.
No, we have.
We don't
to
get
build
paid
hype.
for this.
big. The biggest, the bestest stuff coming up.
Huge. No one's ever seen an episode like this before.
They've never seen it. But. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
To be fair, most people haven't seen any of our episodes, but that's fair too.
That's true. But appreciate whoever has, and yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. Hope you have a good night, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, check us out on YouTube, because you can do that now, and fuck Eric Kahn.
Yeah, fuck Eric Kahn. The next episode is about the ideal woman. Bro, I did a sneak peek. I'm already locked in. I'm in research mode. Because this motherfucker lies his ass off. He sounds so reasonable about women. For the first half of the episode. And it's just lie after lie. It's like nothing he's ever said before happened. And it's driving me nuts. Because now I have to hunt down all the clips.
Oh, yeah. He's making you do work.
I'm astonished. It's like he's a different person. Like he just flips on and off shit. It's so frustrating.
He doesn't have real convictions.
No conviction.
He doesn't know what he believes in.
But it's just a lot of work. I don't want to have to listen to these episodes again. I was done with Men Are Made for Dominion and what it is to be a hard man and being hard in a soft war. I don't want to listen to that again.
Being a good man is being a dangerous man or whatever the fuck it was.
Now I got to build the evidence that we're like in a court case that he doesn't know he's involved in. Yeah. So I need the evidence.
It's all there.
It is there.
That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy, eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.
Trump's facing life while Hunter Biden's got his pipe out.